Hi, my name is Jonathan Hart, Head of Product at Sensis Data Solutions. I'm here with Matthew Tan from Superfluid. Hi, Matt.
Hey Jonathan, thanks for having me.
No worries. We're here to talk about supercharging your CRM with tailored data solutions, specifically data validation tools in the Dynamics 365 CRM. So some quick tips on our webinar, particularly if you haven't joined a Sensis Data Solutions webinar before. Everyone will be on mute. You are welcome to ask questions throughout the presentation, and our panelists will get back to you either live or we have time for questions at the end. If you've got any audio issues, there's some instructions there. And again, if you've got audio issues, you're welcome to ask us questions and see if we can help troubleshoot for you. So for our webinar today, we'll take you through a quick introduction of Sensis Data Solutions and Superfluid, particularly if you're not familiar with either of our brands. And we'll take you through the MS Dynamics data validation tool, which includes live data entry validation, form configurations, and batch data cleansing. So a bit of background on Sensis Data Solutions. We are Australia's most trusted data cleaner with over 20 years experience helping businesses keep their customer databases valid and up to date. We work with clients to make the most of their data, ensuring every interaction with their customers is meaningful. We of course have exclusive access to the Yellow Pages, White Pages, and Where Is data sets owned by Sensis, and we're able to provide premium data quality. For example, a 3% greater address coverage in Australia than anyone else in market. We offer you a full spectrum solution, a one-stop shop, if you will, covering all your requirements across data cleansing and verification, psychographic audience segmentation, marketing insights, location analytics, local area activation, both digitally and offline. There's a big backlog of webinars and other content you can find online about Sensis Data Solutions if you're interested in learning more about us. Matt, I might throw to you to talk a bit about Superfluid.
Thanks, Jonathan. So Superfluid is a wholly owned subsidiary of Brennan IT. Together we're a leading managed services provider that provides IT services across infrastructure and applications, and in particular the Superfluid brand is focused around helping organisations leverage software, applications and cloud-based platforms for their competitive advantage. We're a Microsoft Gold partner, and we have experts across Dynamics 365, Office 365, BI and integration. Again, that's kind of reiterating what I said before, but our pedigree is around helping customers in the mid-market with end-to-end IT. And you can see some of the brands that we've worked with over that time. Brennan has been recognised as a managed services provider, or the #1 in managed services provider for the last 8 years. So why are we co-presenting this webinar? Well, Superfluid actually helped Sensis develop the turnkey data quality solution for Dynamics 365 customer engagement, which utilises their unique data set to improve the data quality within your CRM. And if should you require any assistance during the deployment of this solution or anything else related to Dynamics, then we're certainly here to help.
Excellent, thanks, Matt. So obviously, if you're looking at implementing a data quality solution, you want to know why that is important. We know at Sensis Data Solutions, working with a wide variety of customers, that good quality data enables you to run more effective marketing campaigns and faster marketing campaigns. You'll have higher staff engagement because there's less time spent fixing data quality issues at an individual level, and therefore adding more value to your business. You'll have more accurate and faster decision making, particularly around what customers you're looking to target and work with, and therefore an overall better customer experience. So let me talk about this magic data validation tool. So what it includes is a pre-integration with the Sensis Data Solutions live validation service called TotalCheck. So effectively, this is an API, and we have pre-built the integration to this managed package you can deploy into your CRM in really just minutes. So example services of data validation you have in this package include address suggestion and selection, landline and mobile phone verification services, email verification services, and company lookups from ABN or business phone number using the Sensis directories. So this whole tool ensures the accuracy of your customer data as it is entered into your web forms, or in this case, your CRM, or in particular, in future, you can use a web app, which is critical for e-commerce transactions, lead capturing, and of course, customer remarketing activities. So it's fine to talk about it. Let me show it to you. So this is an example test environment for Dynamics 365, where we have pre-integrated the managed package and already set it up. So it's already got its passwords deployed and all those kind of things. I'll just show you what it looks like when you're actually putting together a customer account. This is a sample environment we've got set up for testing purposes. So I'm just going to start a new account and show you where the integrations are pre-built. So for company name, I might just use the name of the company I work for, Sensis, and that's going to do a quick search of the ABN registry and find Sensis Proprietary Limited, and I'm going to click that little box there, and it's going to enter the ABN. So a quick little way of making sure that you have got an accurate ABN. I might then, pre-fill other information here, like entity type, any parent accounts that link to other parts of the organization, and potentially if it's a public company, their ticker symbol. Some of the real value here, though, is address. We want to make sure you're capturing accurate address information so you can, obviously mail invoices or goods to your customers accurately. So the address here at Sensis is 222 Lonsdale Street, Melbourne. I get about this far before a list of suggestions come up. So that's our address there, but anything that's got a fuzziness over that is here. What's really important to mention, particularly for those customers who are unfamiliar with our address services, is everything comes through Australia Post. We're a certified AMAS provider. We also have options here of the one that I'm using for additional data sets, which is where I say before, we've got 3% greater coverage than anyone else on market. So I'll click that in there. And what that'll do is it'll effectively, once I save it, pre-fill all those distinct fields. This map will update a little bit later. This particular account is configured to provide you geocodes, delivery point identifiers from Australia Post information, the postal barcode, and all those kind of things. It even provides you the SA1 code and even the LGA, of which we are currently in right now. So obviously other important information you want to validate to make sure you're capturing correct information is things like phone numbers. So I think my phone number here is 28. I can't talk it, I've just got to type it. And what that's going to do is just save that there and put it in a bit of a holding pattern until the time that I can validate it. I'm just going to put in a random mobile phone number here and just make sure that it's 10 digits. And then I'm going to put my email address. And might leave it there. If I hit validate, what that'll do is behind the scenes, it'll actually do a quick ping of that phone number to make sure it's accurate. It'll hit the mobile phone registry, effectively the cloud we call the HLR, see whether that phone number is active or not. If I put a fax number in, of course, it did the same thing. There's a 4-factor test that we do on emails, and I would be otherwise able to validate a website. It'll also allow us to check the do not call registry if that's something important to you. And what you'll see here is that main phone number has been classed as active. It's not on the do not call register. That mobile phone is valid and active, can be called. It's not on the do not call register. That email address is active. There's those 4 factors I mentioned before. And of course, we didn't validate the website. So all of a sudden, I now know that is a valid lead or a valid account, and I'm going to be able to call them as an account issue or if I want to market to them. So that's the very basics. There's other things, of course, we've built into this. This is pre-built into both the account main form and the quick forms. We've built it into pretty much anywhere that you need to enter this kind of information. So orders, sales, leads, all those kind of things. I'm just going to save that really quickly. Now, that's effectively Superfluid have built that for us using what a normal setup would be, right? But maybe you've got some customizations in your environment. Maybe you've got a bespoke order sort of module. Thinking the right words here, Matt. And you want to implement some of those validations on those bespoke pages. Well, we've also built an ability to do some form configurations. So effectively, I'm just going to show you where it is. We've got documentation to show you how to do this. But if I go into here, effectively what I'll be able to do is select one of my entities. Let's say it's accounts, select the form, let's say it's social profiles, and I'll be able to overlay a validation, let's say email, into one of the input fields there. It's as simple as that. So if you've got 5 bespoke fields you want to customize in a different form, it's going to take you a couple of minutes tops. So the other product that we sell here at Sensis Data Solutions for data validation is called Macro Match. It's our batch validation solution. So Total Check is for live validation, so individual records. Macro Match is really where you've got lots and lots of records, perhaps your entire CRM or parts thereof. Macro Match is built with industrial strength. We're handling right now transactions on an ongoing basis, millions of records at a time. No job individually is too big for us. So depending on the available data inputs and desired outputs, we've got a wide variety of jobs, about 40 pre-configured jobs that are individual, that can validate your data's currency or accuracy or add significant value points. For example, I showed before the ability for our address solution to add geocodes. If you've got addresses and no geocodes, you need geocodes for some kind of mapping solution. That'd be an example of what we can append. So let me quickly show you how to set up a batch wash and quickly talk about some bespoke solutions. So to set up a macro match job run, so a batch wash, we just go over here to settings and then over here to total check jobs. I then set up a new one and it'll give me a form from which to fill some things out. So I'll call this webinar test. I'm logged in here, so I'll be the email owner. The particular check type, so these are the pre-configured jobs we've got available. As I mentioned before, there's about 40 in total. We've pre-configured the ones that make the most amount of sense here for the MS Dynamics solution. So I'm just going to say let's put phone verify. That would allow us to choose mobile phones or landlines in a single batch. So if you've got mobile phones in your phone fields as well as landlines, it won't be a problem. So I'm going to choose from the entity of accounts, and my job email is the one I mentioned before. I can apply some filters here using some SQL. I'm not going to do that today. Basically, that's it. I'm just going to hit run. So what that'll do is it'll take any of the phone numbers from the accounts field and go and verify those. So as I said before, that's literally pinging to make sure those phone numbers can be called or SMS'd for mobile phones, and make sure you can get a response from your customers. So in terms of bespoke jobs, there's other jobs I mentioned before that we've got, and we can also combine different jobs. We call that a bureau activity. I've got a team here of data analysts that can really help create bespoke solutions. So if you've got some data challenges, particularly around customer contact data, whether that's B2B or B2C, we are obviously very happy to help consult with you. So obviously this is a bit of setup. We want to make sure that you know why it's important, but also what you get out of that. A key impact of inaccurate data and a lack of customer insights is financial. Even a very small uptick in the quality of your contact details can pay some pretty huge dividends. So this is a case study. It's an example of a customer we've worked with in the past. We've kind of rounded the numbers out a little bit to make sure it worked. This is pretty typical. So company X has web forms across their website, or across their whole network, where prospective customers enter their details and automatically saved in their database. So in this case, it's on the front end, but it equally could be people making phone calls into a call center where their data is saved in MS Dynamics. There's no validation step, so often people are putting in incorrect or invalid address, phone, or email information. So it means that a range of potential new customers cannot be contacted or marketed to. So you're either getting dud leads because the person's fat-fingered or accidentally mistyped things. It could be people that are genuinely trying to just not provide the right details to you and wasting your time. So compare what happens when the validation tools are deployed on the website, or again, it could be equally in MS Dynamics 365. Over here, we'd get manual data entry, 20,000 new records, 90% would have a good valid contact information. It's probably generous in some circumstances from what we see. And if the average sale value lost of those 10% that are bad is $200, you've effectively lost 400 grand. If you've got the automated data entry with the total check, same number of customers, we know that 100% of people have valid contact information, therefore no lost sales. Basically, it's a circa 5.5 grand investment or thereabouts, and of course, those 400 grand of sales is there. Make sense, Matt?
Certainly does, Jonathan. No brainer.
So I'll pass over to you, Matt. What's the top takeaways you took from what we've gone through?
Yeah, thanks. So the top takeaways are that it's very easy to apply the solution. It is a turnkey product, and we'll work with all the out-of-the-box fields from as soon as it's installed. If you want to customize it, you can. You'll have a subscription to the Sensis Data Solutions web services or API, and you can integrate that to your website. But also, if you have other entities within Dynamics that require the same validation on those fields that you saw today in the demo, then you can easily apply those to those entities as well. Yes, we did develop the package. It is turnkey, doesn't require our involvement. But should you need assistance, then we're certainly here as an escalation point or to provide any assistance that you need. And lastly, yeah, we're obviously a #1 managed services provider within Australia, and yeah, we'd love the opportunity to provide any assistance should you require it. So if you do want assistance, if you find the product today that you've seen interesting, there's a couple of contact points there. If you're already a Superfluid or a Brennan customer, feel free to reach out to either myself or to your Brennan account manager. You can do that directly if you have their contact details, or call us on the number or the email address below. If you're a Sensis Data Solutions customer already and you are seeking a new implementation partner, feel free to contact your Sensis account manager, and they can refer you on or point you in the right direction. So now it's question time. So if you have a question, you won't be able to unmute yourself. So open up the chat window in the GoToWebinar box there and feel free to type in your questions.
Cool.
It looks like we already had some questions asked along the way. So the first one here, I'll read this out, and Jonathan, I'll give you the opportunity to answer first.
Thanks, Matt.
How much does the MS Dynamics package cost?
Well, see, it's the good news. So I mentioned before there's a sample kind of size of the total check. Live validation implementation is about 5.5 grand for the 20,000 validations we talked about. So the good news is effectively you're only paying for total check or macro match services that you use that would be very much identified, be very much specific to what you need. The actual package itself is offered for free. So you can just use that if you need to as an easy way to implement these solutions.
But they said nothing in life was free, Jonathan. All right, I've got another question here. From a current total check customer, where do I get the package?
So great question. So if you have your credentials for the SDS demonstration and documentation site, if you get in there and go to the downloads page, the documentation for the package and the package itself is a zip file that's available to be downloaded, and nice and easy. So the actual implementation, we didn't talk about how that works, but it's literally 5 minutes of clicking. The big thing is you'll need to have your Sensis API information. And of course, if you don't have that, you won't have access to the demo site. So that's when you need to give us or via Superfluid.
Yeah, and you'll also need to have someone that's got system admin access into your Dynamics implementation so they can install it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So another question here that's come through, Jonathan. If I have trouble with implementation, who should I call?
It's a great question. So kind of go back to the previous slide. So I might just bring those details up for those that may have not had a chance to copy them down. So if you're an existing customer of Sensis Data Solutions using Total Check and have the managed package, We offer the basic support as per your terms of service. If you need got challenges with your API key, if you've got challenges just seeing what things are, if you need some basic questions answered, we are very much happy to help you out. If it gets a bit beyond that, you're looking for someone to come in and maybe be an implementation partner, maybe look at the bigger scope of your services, particularly around this Office 365 or managed CRM solutions or BI solutions that Superfluid and Brennan are expert in, we would recommend giving them a call. Right, so I think that might wrap us up today. Thank you very much, Matt, for coming in, and also thanks again to Superfluid and the people there that have created this amazing application to help our customers use Total Check and Macro Match in a really quick and easy way.
And thank you. I was just going to say thank you to everyone that joined the webinar and asked those questions.
Yeah, absolutely agree. So with that, we'll say thank you again, and all the best for the rest of your month. Cheers.